Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to display the share sheet on your iPhone or iPad for Godot Game Engine. So suppose I want to share some text from my app, I can just click on a button and it will display the share sheet for me. So let's see how to do this. So first what you have to do is ignore this work folder for now. Like I will be copying a lot of code from this work folder because was just my practice before recording the video. I will create one folder called workspace. Okay, you can name it whatever you feel like. Then inside that I will create one folder called plugin. Okay, uh, make sure you name it the same plugin. The first thing which you have to do for of course for creating a iOS plugin is you will require a Mac OS or MacBook, and then you will also need to install Python. You can install Xcode from Apple App Store, and for scones firstly you will need to install Homebrew. Then just run brew install scones, so it will install scones for you. So we have already created one folder, we have created a plugin folder. Then we have to clone the Godot source code from GitHub inside our plugin folder. So you will have to open your terminal and run this particular command. But here instead of Godot 4.2 you can use whatever Godot version you are using. So at the time of this recording, at the time of recording this video, I am using Godot 4.2. But if you are watching this in future, make sure you replace this with whatever Godot version you are using. So I have already cloned this. So what I'll do is I'll just literally copy paste this Godot folder, which is the Godot source code cloned from GitHub, inside my plugin folder. So again be patient because this cloning will take a little bit of time. Once the cloning is done, again inside your terminal you will have to cd to the Godot folder which was cloned, and then you will have to run this particular command. So this will generate the iOS headers for you. Now this will take a lot of time, again be patient. I have so the Godot folder which I am copying already have the iOS folder, so I have already ran this particular command. That's why I'm not running it again. Okay, once this is done, you will have to open Xcode, click on create new project, click on iOS, click on static library, click next. Here you will have to select your team. I will select my team off the screen. Okay, and here you will have to give some name. I'll just say it as my share. Okay, give it a more appropriate name. You can change the organization identifier to whatever is your organization identifier, and language I will keep it as Objective C. Then click on next. Okay, so the next thing is after clicking next we will have to save the or create the project inside our plugin folder. So I have selected that and I will just click on create. Now I will be copying a lot of code from our from my practice project. So firstly what I'll do is I'll go to my Xcode project, I'll click on my share, and here you can select the iOS deployment target to whatever you feel like. I'll select it as 16, but you can select it more lower version if you want to. So this will work from iOS 16 and above. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just copy some code, emotic module, arithmetic module, this one as well as this one. So I'll open this, and firstly we'll have to create a module file. So for that I'll just open this, I'll just create my share. Okay, I'll just right click new file, I'll create an Objective C file, I'll click on next, my share, and I'll give it name as my share underscore module. Click next, click create. Okay, change the extension to .mm, which is Objective C++. Also I will do this for this particular file as well, .mm. Okay, the next thing which we have to do is we have to create header for this particular module file as well. So I'll just right click new file, header, next. I'll just copy paste it and I'll click on create over. Oh sorry, this should be my share underscore module. Okay, and I'll click on create. So it has created this as well. Okay, the next thing I'll just copy paste a bunch of code. Even you don't have to understand this code, even I don't understand all this code. Okay, so this is from arithmetic module header, right? So yeah, I have copied this code to header. Okay, next I will replace arithmetic with my share. Okay, because in practice the name of my library was arithmetic, but here we are using my share, so I'll replace arithmetic with my share. All right. Okay, so this is done. Next we'll have to copy this particular code as well, arithmetic underscore module.mm. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. Next I'll just copy my share over here as well as over here, but here m should be capital, and then again over here as well, then over here as well, over here again. We don't have to understand this is just boilerplate code. You have to write every single time you are creating an iOS plugin. Also ignore these Xcode errors. These are not really errors. I think Xcode does not play nice with Godot iOS plugin. Okay, I think this should be fine. All right, next we'll create this header file. So again I'll copy paste this code. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. Okay, next again here we will have to write it as my share, right? So I'll just enable caps lock, my share, and over here as well, my share. Okay, then we'll just copy paste this code. Again over here it should be my share. Okay, I'll remove this extra m. Also over here this should be my share. Here I have created one method called share data, which we will have to write inside our objective C++ file as well. So we'll have to write the actual implementation of this. Again here I'll replace arithmetic with my share over here as well as over here. Okay, I think this looks fine to me. Rest everything is boilerplate code apart from the share data, and here I am also importing UIKit because the share code is inside this UIKit library. Next I'll just copy paste all this code as well. Okay, I won't copy the comments. I'll just copy this, and here I'll just paste it over here. Okay, so I'll just copy this my share again, and here we have to write is as my share. Okay, m should be capital, as well as over here. Here we are initializing our arithmetic plugin, and this is the deinitialization code. So here we are deinitializing it. Again here this should be my share, this should be my share. This should be my share. Here I am not using any signal as such, but if you want to emit some signal back to the Godot side, you can add this particular code, and here the signal will send data of type string. That's why this is string, and the name of the signal will be text underscore result. I don't know why we are using result over here. I think because I'm not really sure, because I think whatever I use after underscore in the name, I use it over here. I'm not really sure why we are using this. Okay, now this again, this should be my share. So here we are implementing our share data, and this should be my share as well. So it will take a text from string from Godot side. We will convert it to NA string. Then here we are adding what all items we want to share. Suppose if you want to share an image as well along with text, so here you will have to create this image. So just copy this, and I think you can paste it over here. Okay, something like this, but provided the image should be local to your iOS plugin. It can't fetch an image which is present inside your Godot project, so be careful. Or if the image is located on a network, you will have to first download the image, and then you will have to create an UI image out of it. That's why I didn't went into this UI image part, because that would get complicated. But once you have this UI image, here, like as you can see, I'm just appending title data. Apart from that, you can also append comma whatever is the UI image name. So here it is share image, you can add share image over here, but just for simplicity I am just sharing some string data. Then here we are creating our UI activity view controller, passing our items to share, and our activity view controller should exclude this type print as well as type add to reading list. If you want these two things as well, you can comment this code out. Okay, then we have to get hold of our root view controller. So for this you have to write this boilerplate code. So here this is like I have just copy pasted this from Stack Overflow. Okay, and here you will get your root view controller. Now the interesting part is this entire code is for iPad only. So if you are running it on iPad, we also have to give this pop over presentation controller as well, because I have an iPad. I couldn't really test it on iPhone because I don't have a real iPhone. Like I have tested it on for testing, what I did was I created a native iOS project with Objective-C, and that's how I tested it on iOS simulator. But once this Godot plugin is ready, I can't really test it on iOS simulator because there are a lot of things like this Vulkan and all that stuff. I don't really understand all this. That's why I find it impossible to test it on iOS simulator. But I have a real iPad device. Thankfully, because of that, I was able to figure this out. But I think you don't have to change any code if you are trying to run it on real iOS device. This check is for, as you can see, it is for iPad only, so we have to add this particular check as well. That's what I have done over here, because the iPad requires a pop over presentation control, something like that. And here we are just displaying our activity VC, which is this particular thing. Okay, and once it is displayed, we are just breaking the loop. Okay, and here we are just ending our code. Okay, all right. Next, I will quickly check whether I have replaced arithmetic everywhere. Otherwise that also causes lot of issues. Okay, I think I have replaced it everywhere. Let me check capital A as well. Okay, that is also replaced. Next, you can just go to click on this, go over here, go to build settings, click this, go to search for header search path, then go to your plugins, go to Godot folder, sorry, and here you can select platform. Here you can select iOS, right click on any of this file, click on get info, and just copy this particular path, and I will paste this particular path inside header search path. Double click on it, click plus, I'll paste it over here. Okay, this is done. Now I will just close my Xcode, so I'll just quit it. Then again I will come back to my plugin folder, and here we have to move this .xcode proj one folder previous. Okay, I don't know why we have to do this, but we have to do this. Also I'll just copy all the I'll just select all this file and also move it one folder previous. Okay, so I'll just, okay, I'm not able to drag it. Okay, now this empty my share folder, we can just delete it. Okay, so this all stuff is done. So alright, next we have to create a .gdip file. So I already have that. I'll just copy paste it and show it to you. So you have to create this .gdip file inside your plugin folder, but make sure you replace the name arithmetic with my share, because that is the name of our plugin. Okay, and I'll quickly open it inside VS Code, but use whatever text editor you want. Here again we have to replace the name arithmetic with my share over here as well, and over here as well, then over here as well. Okay, then I'll just quickly click on save. We don't need any capabilities or plist. Then I'll just copy this s construct as well, and I'll paste it over here inside my plugin. So you can get a sample s construct file by going to this particular URL. So you will get a sample, because this s construct file is quite big. Then open this s construct file and just try to find arithmetic. and replace it with my share. Okay, and again I'll try to find arithmetic. I'll replace it with my share as well as my share. Then one more thing is, here you can see that the deployment target, I think, is if it is 10 for you, like the deployment target might be different. So whatever you have set the minimum iOS deployment target inside Xcode, make sure you use the same version over here, over here, over here, as well as over here, and then just click on save. So I have already done that as well, and then I'll just scroll down. Okay, we are done with this. Then we have to create a bin folder. So I will create a bin folder over here. Then I will open terminal and I'll create a new terminal. I will cd to our plugin folder. Okay, so not this. So I'll just drag and drop this plugin folder. Okay, I'm not able to drag it. Okay, now I'll just click. Now we have to run this particular command. So here, instead of arithmetic, we have to write my share. Okay, so I'll just quickly run this command, and I will replace arithmetic with my share, and then I'll run this command. So I'll run this. Now what this basically does is that this creates a .a file inside our bin folder. So as you can see over here, the next thing which we have to do is we have to create a Godot project. So I will quickly create one Godot project. So I can just open Godot. Okay, so I have created my Godot project. I have created outside the plugin folder, as you can see over here. So just to avoid unnecessary complexity, so here I will create inside my Godot project a folder called iOS. Inside that, create a folder called plugins with an S. Then I will just go to my plugin folder. I will copy the .gdip file, go to my Godot project, plugins, and I'll paste it over here. Then again I'll go to plugin, go to bin, and you will have to copy this .a file, and I'll again paste it to my iOS plugins folder, and here I will just name it as my share. Okay, so this is done as well. Next you will have to go to project, export, add iOS. Just click on this fix import. Here you will firstly have to add your App Store team ID. I will add that later on, but to get your App Store team ID, you can go to this particular URL which I have shown you. It will guide you on how to get your App Store team ID. Then you have to just enter some bundle identifier. So I'll just enter it as my awesome Godot game, but you can enter whatever you feel like. Mostly it is com dot your company name dot your app name, but yeah, I think this is fine. Then inside plugins you should see your my share plugin. I'll just click this checkbox. I'll enter App Store team ID later on, but you should enter your App Store team ID, otherwise this export project button won't be visible for you. Then I will just click on 2D scene, and here I will just create one button, and I will just expand this particular button because we really need only one button, and on click of that I want to share some data, right? And here inside theme overrides, I'll just increase the font size to 40, and I'll quickly save it, and I will run this as well so that my root scene is selected. Okay, then I will attach one script to this. So I'll just attach this script. Now again I'll just copy paste some code which I have already written. So I'll go to node2d.gd. okay, so I'll just copy paste this particular code. Okay, and here I'll paste it over here. So over here, and here we have to again replace arithmetic with my share. Okay, over here as well, and over here as well, over here as well, and this should be capital. Okay, not my share, my share. Okay, over, it's very difficult to type when you're talking, and I don't have any separate mic. I have to use my mobile's headset, So here also I have to use my share, and this is the method which we have written it on Godot side, and we are passing some text to it. I will assign this press signal as well to my button. Okay, so hopefully if I click on button, it has assigned this particular signal over here. So yeah, so here we are just okay, this should also be my share, right? This should not be arithmetic. Okay, so I'll remove this. Okay, next I will quickly enter my App Store team ID and come back. So I have entered my App Store team ID, and then I'll just click on export project, and here I will just export it inside this empty folder which I have created called my awesome iOS. But you can export it to wherever you feel like. I would recommend you to create an empty folder, because this will create lot of files. It will create an Xcode project completely. Okay, so I'll come back once this export is done. Okay guys, so as you can see, my export project was export was done completely, and then all you have to do is just go to your folder and just double click on this .xcode project. It will open their project in Xcode, and here I am running my project on a real iPad device. So hopefully this should get okay. So here you can see the output, and if I click on share, so here you can see it has presented all the apps which are able to handle this text sharing, and this is our data. Now you can select whatever app you want and just share with it. So here I have selected notes, and I just click on save. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.